In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, welcome everybody to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. I got a very special guest today. And like I said, Genius Brain is about the celebrities in my personal life. And I call this lady my African sunshine.
Come on, sunshine. Let me warm you up.
Her first name literally is what you end yourself with the prayer with.
Amen. People always think that that's fake. They're like, so like really like A-M-A-M-E-N? Yeah, I know you know how to spell.
Well, they didn't meet your mom. Your mom is the most spiritual woman I've ever met in my life.
My mom loves you, Dave.
Really?
You and Khalif and Z and no. She was like, the one that has that the white and black shirts, is he okay? And I'm like, yeah, he's just really quiet, Ma.
You know why? It's because he didn't get his feet washed. That's why.
Yeah, but he later told me that he wished that he did.
Yeah, of course he wished that he did. This fool's being all weird about that shit. He goes, man,
but you know he don't like people touching his feet though.
Like his feet's that special. The fuck? He got some regular ass feet.
But the thing is Ed is special because this is the same person who has OCD.
That's right.
The same person that when you go out to eat and he only eats like a little bit of his food and then says that he's full. I'm like, Ninja, we just got here. Like, what the heck?
Edgar's like a solid 110 pounds.
He's my thigh. That's what he is.
He legit, I think what he weighs right now is what I weighed in the 5th grade. Like, same shit.
Dang.
That fool was extra tiny.
No, in the 5th grade, I was...
What have you been up to?
Man, life, man. Literally life. Transitioning from one thing to another. But yeah, you know, I'm an editorial associate right now at a marketing firm. And then on the weekends, I'm hosting a Christian radio show. But it's not your typical Christian radio show. It's like...
What do you mean?
You talk about stuff that most people don't want to talk about in the church. So,
oh shit! Like what? Like what?
Like this past weekend, we talked about like people,
butt sex.
Well, we talked about sex 2 weekends ago and masturbation.
Oh shit!
All that kind of
Just
stuff.
to let you know, I've never met a single Christian that doesn't masturbate.
Yeah, and but the thing is nobody talks about it. That's the problem. Like people, yeah, legit.
Oh, you know what? That's true. Maybe it's just because because I grew up in the church, but then I just think I was the Antichrist in the church, so I'll talk about everything. So I
can't imagine you being the Antichrist. You probably a comedic relief in church.
Probably, huh?
People probably like, shut up, Dave, but not no Antichrist. Like, oh my God, fire hell.
So you guys really talk about all that stuff? Yeah,
we did. We talked about sex. We talked about like why do we look at sex as a negative thing? Or why do we shame some people for having sex? Like we just we want people to get to the mindset that if you're having sex, do it with the right people because there's so many emotional and spiritual ties that come with it. You got to be mindful of who you share your body with. Yeah. And so for me, everybody on the panel has had sex except for me because I'm keeping myself for marriage.
Man, let me tell you something. You are a steel forge because that shit is
it's hard.
Cold.
No, it's hard because I almost lost my virginity twice.
Oh, see?
But the thing is
lost
like...
more than that. I'll tell you that.
Whatever.
You probably...
Dave, we gonna have to talk after. But I stopped myself every time because I knew that I'm an empath. That's one thing. I'm very emotional. I get attached easily in a romantic sense. So if I share myself with this man who was also cheating on me behind my back.
Son of a bitch.
I would have been like, this would have been like, waiting to excel when Angela Bassett.
He was cheating on you? Mm-hmm. How'd you find that shit out?
Through Facebook.
People suck at cheating. You ever notice that shit? They fucking suck at cheating. Like if you're gonna cheat, you gotta do the steps. You gotta delete your Facebook. You gotta delete everything.
Yeah. But the thing is like one of my friends already hinted like, oh, you need to be let me not say his name.
How much you want? I bet you he's light skinned as fuck, isn't he?
No, he's not. And that's the thing. I used to always like light skinned dudes, like Drake.
I don't know why, but I'm like, he's light skinned.
No, he's like faithful. He was a little bit lighter than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he African?
Yep. He's Igbo.
What?
Yeah. So
this motherfucker.
You listen. So what was trill about the whole situation was I basically printed out the conversation. I messaged the girl and was like, hey, this, and this. I'm bold. Like, because when you
shit.
cross me, the thing is people know me as being nice. But when you get on my other side, it's a whole nother problem.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
You see that? You see that? If there wasn't a video, you would have seen that lip curl of anger right there.
I would have, I get real ghetto. I get real ratchet. It's like sophisticated ratchet African. Like, it's like safatchet. I don't know. Like, it's all together. I messaged her, and so I printed out all our conversations. She told me everything in detail. I put in a little folder, put in a gift bag, put tissue, went to his house, and I was like, "What's up, babe?"
You fucking funny. Mm-hmm. So like when
we were supposed to go work out, and so I was like, "Babe, let's go. Let me meet you like maybe 10 minutes earlier at your house." And he was like, "Okay, that's cool." Come to his house, he comes out, and he's like, "So what are we gonna do today?" Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Oh, I actually have a gift for you," and I passed it to him, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Open it." And he was like, okay. Takes the tissue out, takes the envelope out. He's like, what the hell is this? Because it was thick. Because I talked to her over weeks because I wanted to know everything. He opens it. He starts reading it. And I said, I get in the car because I'm standing with the door open.
Yeah.
I get in the car. And so I shut the door, roll down my glass. And I'm like looking at him read it. And his eyes just go. And I was like, exactly. Lose my number. You never knew me. You know, and I don't cuss, but I was like, F you, and sped off. He called me 11 times after that. The first 3 messages.
What's he going to say when those 11 times? What's there to say? Unless it's like.
She lying, or, it's a lie, or this and that, or blah, blah, blah. So the first 3 voicemails were basically like him saying like, oh, I'm sorry, this not what you think, da, da, da. Then the last message was, F you, we never said that this, and this.
Of course.
This, and that, yeah. So then he went back and told the girl, like, hey, I'm crazy, that I'm some crazy girl, whatever. I said, if I'm crazy, these are the pictures of me and him. I've been knowing him since I was in high school.
Oh, shit, and you guys go way back, too. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, since fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
How big is he?
He's 6'2".
Okay, well, never mind. I'm sorry.
$180.
Okay. Oh, bucket. Well, fuck you then. All right, just because I want to make sure in case I see him, because he knows me as a creature.
Oh, he in Houston, so it's all good.
Fuck. Well, I'm going to Houston next week. Oh, but hold on a second. Hold on a second. I want to see. Is he muscular?
I don't know. So I deleted him from Facebook. I don't follow him on Instagram.
See, I'm very careful about how I talk shit about people just because I see them in person.
Don't worry, because my clout in Houston may be way bigger than his.
Yeah, fuck you then, dude. I'll beat your ass.
Listen, I went to HBCU for undergrad. I had all kinds of friends, if you know what I mean, whether they was Crips, Bloods, you know,
fuck with the wrong person.
Don't mess.
Just get them all together. I'll be all behind them, and I'll be talking mad shit from the back. I'll cock my finger from the back of my head to the fucking front like that, motherfucker.
But it was crazy because during that time, after that happened, for a long time, I questioned everything when it came to romantic relationships.
Of course.
Because it's like, you know, somebody who was showing interest to me was like doing all this good stuff, but deep down inside, I kind of felt like, man, something ain't right, but I'm just gonna look over it.
But when you're emotionally attached, it's hard to kind of look at those type of things. Like you tend to ignore the natural instincts that you have, because your gut feeling, for me, I feel like it's always right. There's something that you have through all these like cumulative experiences that says something's not right with this person. But when you're like emotionally attached to them, you choose to just push it down. And then just like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong this time.
Yeah.
And you push it down and you move on. But look what happens.
Exactly. And so for me now, ever since that whole ordeal, I've been I just have standards now.
You're just cautious.
Yeah, I'm very cautious.
You guard your heart.
But I'm 30 now. Like I turned 30 in September and I'm ready.
You've been ready since you were 20.
I'm overbaked. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this then. Like, you know, when you're super passionate about somebody within a relationship, and I always wanted this too. So first of all, I wanted to save my virginity too. I lasted till I was 17. So that was actually pretty good for people my age at the time.
Yeah, because
18. Give me another year. So, and even then it was hard. So when I was working at a church, and I remember these kids, they would ask, because, you know, I was like a youth minister for a little bit. And these kids would ask, he goes, oh, okay, come on. What if I just have sex once? I said, let me tell you something. You ever just eat pie once? You ever just have a slice of pie and never eat pie ever again?
What kind of pie?
Any pie that you like. What's your favorite piece of pie?
I used to like pecan pie, but they put too much high fructose corn syrup in there.
Oh, you all mad healthy now, huh?
Yeah, I'm keto now.
You keto?
Yeah.
Keto's fucking hard. We're gonna get to that later, though.
Yeah.
But let's say it's like I always told these kids, it's like somebody you've been starving for fucking 30 years. And then there's this piece of bread out here, like your favorite piece of bread or whatever that it is. How are you gonna just take the piece of the corn and not eat the whole thing?
That's true, because I like the crust.
It's like that game when we were younger. People, we'll just do just a tip. There's no such thing as just a tip.
No,
Absolutely
man,
not.
I heard that game so much in middle school. Hey guys, like, what does that mean? Just a tip? I can show you. No, you can't.
No,
Don't show me.
That's fucking wild. I didn't know that you still kept your virginity until you were 30 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, that's you. You were crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like this dude asked me the other day. He was like, "So, like, what if you stay single for the next 10 years? You still gonna keep your virginity?" I said, "Hell yeah."
Damn. So what he was trying to say is like, you trying to lose it to me or what?
No, because it's a tactic. You can read through people like saying stuff. The one thing is, it's like, okay, so the big girl movement is becoming a little bit more open-minded with certain men nowadays.
Okay.
Like before, people weren't trying to holler that much at plus-size girls in public like they were, or like they're doing now. Before it was like all behind closed doors, like you get DMs and all that stuff. Now some people got a little bit more courage and stuff. Like this dude literally told me, more cushion for the push. And I said, excuse me? More cushion for the what?
Wait, why would he say that to you?
You ain't pushing nothing. You ain't getting this bakery, honey. You don't have the key to this bakery.
Yeah, that's so funny when guys write shit like that. Like in my mind, I always say this shit too. Like I just had a conversation with a friend on this podcast where people write shit, right? So they'll write, like you'll see it. Like you'll see a beautiful woman on Instagram, right? And then you see all these slobbering ass motherfuckers right beneath it. And they go, oh, you don't know what I'd do with that ass. No, you actually wouldn't know what you would do with that ass. I've seen women, right, that I lust after too. I'm like, dude, that girl's fucking fine as fuck. And if she said to me, fuck me, you know what I would say? I don't know what to do. You have so much ass, I don't know what to do with it. What am I supposed to do with this? Exactly. Maybe I lay down and then you just fuck me and I'll see what happens. Because I wouldn't know what the fuck, you definitely wouldn't know what the fuck to do with it.
But I am a little bit kind of scared. I shared this with my friends the other day. I'm very transparent about this stuff.
Yeah.
I am a little bit scared about sex. Only because of the initial, like everybody says the first time hurts. You a dude, so it's not gonna hurt you. But for me,
you remember that D'Angelo song? How does it feel? That's exactly what went through my head. I can provide everything you desire, babe. That's exactly that's what it felt like for me.
See, but for me, I just, and I mean, there's probably going to be some virgins who watch this too, or people who are contemplating whatever. I feel like do whatever you feel you should do. Not whatever anybody else is trying to pressure you to do, but do what you feel that you should do. And for me, I know that I just want that one man in this whole entire world. And some people are going to say I'm crazy. Hey,
that's your flavor. That's all.
But my flavor is I only want one man inside of me. That's it. I want one man to say that, dang, I'm the only man in this world that has been inside of a man.
Oh, shit. That's some mad confidence.
So, like, and it took some time to get there. But, like, I don't see myself sharing myself with anybody else but that one man.
Yeah, and when I was younger too, I feel like, I actually feel like it's going towards this way, which I prefer. So when I was younger, I felt like I say like 70% of the dudes that I knew, or maybe even more, already lost their virginity by the time we were 15. Yeah. By the time we were 15, 14, they already lost their virginity. I was the late bloomer. And it's weird when I mention this story or I tell like a younger crowd now, they're like, dude, because I lost it when I was 18 and I'm saying like I was late. And they're like, that's not late. Like none of us lost our virginity. I feel like kids are actually losing their virginity later and later now. Because people are being more open about it. And they're talking about it like, it's okay. You don't have to lose it. Like your virginity isn't a fucking mole on your ass. You don't have to fucking lose it. Nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's like sex is put at such a high pedestal. Like everything has to be sex. Like even like when young boys talk, they go, did you hit that? Did you do that?
Yeah, like I heard my little cousins talking like that. I said, hit what? Y'all better be talking about something else. Because I know y'all ain't hitting none of these bras. That's what I want to know.
And it's weird too because, a lot of these young kids, I'm saying this young kid as in a young version of myself as well. Like we have these conversations with these other dudes that kind of talk a big game and they really don't have game, but they talk a big game. And it makes you feel like that's the actual standard. And it fucks a lot of people up, specifically young dudes. Like it fucks them up. Let me tell you this shit too. Like I remember when I was a young kid and I watched porn and I was like, damn, one day my dick's going to be that big. And it never happened. I was like, so it's not supposed to be the size of this table? Like, what's going on here?
No, that's not.
I was Lord, like, is there something wrong
you
with
ain't
me?
no whale.
But that's the kind of things that will fuck you up as a kid, though, right? And it's so interesting. I had no idea you were keeping your virginity.
We talked about it before, but it was in passing because the thing is there was a time when I never said it. And then when I reached like 27 or so, I was like, why should I hide it? Other people talk so much about their sexuality and them losing their virginity and all that stuff. Why can't I be an advocate for, hey, I'm keeping myself?
I mean, like, but what do you do though? Let's say, like, for example, right? You with the dude. There's candles and shit lit, right? We got some Marvin Gaye in the background. Something's happening. You got dinner and shit. He slides over. He puts his arms around you, puts his hands on your kneecap.
Dave.
And then what do you do? What you do? You just got like this little ice bucket behind you and you just throw it on him real quick. Like, where the fuck you come with that ice bucket? Like, what do you do?
First of all, I haven't been on a date since 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Wait, so when was this guy?
My ex, that was 2000. That was old, like 2009, 8.
Oh shit!
I've talked to dudes, but like relationship wise,
dating wise, yeah,
dating. But I was about to say his name.
Say his mother.
No, I'm not,
because
that's wrong. But I've spoken to other dudes. I'll
fuck you up, guy.
Between 2011 and 2013, but like 2014, I haven't been on a date since 2014.
Why?
I don't know.
You just don't want that shit in your life right now? What?
Well, so I tried Tinder. I tried Coffee Meets Bagel.
Yeah.
I tried OkCupid. There's one more. I can't remember. But the thing is everybody gets to a point where they just want to have sex, and that's not what I'm trying to do.
Even on Coffee Meets Bagel? I heard Coffee Meets Bagel wasn't even like that.
Coffee Meets Bagel wasn't like that, but then there were some dudes on there who were just trying to smash, and that's not what I'm trying to do.
That's a Tinder thing, though.
Tinder, oh my gosh. I was on Tinder for 3 months. And every dude, I'm like, okay, this is going good. 2 weeks in, woo, woo, woo. And then one dude was like, oh, let's finally meet up. I was like, fine. I was like, let's meet up by the SC area. He was like, oh, no, I was thinking more of like, you can just come over to me and my mom's house. And I was
what
like,
the fuck? Hell no.
I've never met you. Why would I come to your house? He was like, well, I was thinking we could watch movies and cook.
And cook.
Netflix and chill. We ain't doing that.
No, he was like, we should come over. We're just gonna meet at my mom's house. Yeah. Just say you live with your mom.
Exactly.
And that's what you.
He lives with his mom.
He rephrased it where he's like, we'll just go to my mom's house. No,
me and my
I
mom's
live
house.
with my mom.
Yeah.
Would you like to come over as she watches us fuck? Is that what he's saying? You fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's just. It's weird because like I get different approaches, but I always feel like. Even now, before it used to really bother me.
Yeah.
Because like everybody around me, like out here in LA, all of my friends are mostly male. So like all my male friends, you, Z, Ed, Khalif, Paul, everybody's in relationships. And so it used to really bother me like, dang, how's everybody else finding relationships and I'm not? But now I'm at the point like when it happens, it happens. I still put myself out there.
Yeah.
But I know what I don't want. And so.
But you know, when I first met you, did I have a girlfriend? I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
but you were dating.
Yeah, I was dating a lot, but I wasn't in like long committed relationships for a very, very long time. Like it wasn't really something that I wanted. It's just when Mariel came around, I thought she had something very special.
Yeah,
and so
she's special.
Like I said, she loves you. Like, she fucking loves you.
I love her. She gives the best hugs.
Yeah. So like the crazy thing is like with her, like I wasn't planning to be even thinking about serious relationships until I hit 30.
Yeah.
So around this time. So I was like, oh, maybe then I'll start thinking about serious relationships because it wasn't something that was
in
ever.
Your mind.
I just didn't want it. Like I didn't understand. It's because I didn't want to. You talking about that demon cat?
Yo, I almost jumped out because I was like, what? What the heck?
That cat loves you though.
That I see.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about a serious relationship, and it just kind of happened. And before that point, it was just kind of like, I'm just going to date around, see what happens, right? And I really wasn't looking for love at all. And sometimes it just kind of falls into place. And when you feel it, you feel it. And if you don't, you don't. And I think the hard part is that people sometimes try to get like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit into something that just doesn't work, right? So because some people just get desperate. They just prefer any type of companionship versus finding somebody that really fits them.
You better say that.
Yeah, and I see it all the time. They go, they get with this person, and they kind of check off this list. And I always say this about relationships. You can have a set list about what you think you like about somebody. I'll tell you something else. They're going to prove you wrong. They won't check all that list, but for some reason, you're still going to love them. And that's the hard part. People don't understand that. Like even with Mariel, even with me, I had this checklist of everything that I wanted out of a girl. And it wasn't a Korean girl. It was a fat booty Puerto Rican girl. And it did,
I'm trying to get that fat booty though.
And it didn't happen that way, right? Yeah. And so because people don't fit into this checklist, they try to find somebody that does fit it. And even when they do fit that checklist, they find out there's they kind of force themselves to be in this relationship because they're like, on paper, this person's perfect. Yeah. This person, I said that this person would be perfect, so why don't I love this person? They kind of stay in this long-term relationship because they think that there's something wrong with them. Yeah. And it's not.
And then a lot of people also compromise.
Yeah, I'm not in with that shit, dude. Like I'm really not into compromising. Like,
and that's why I feel like I've been single for so long because I'm not willing to compromise. Like some of my cousins have even said recently, because they're all getting engaged and stuff, they're like, well, why don't you try this person, or why did you do this, or I mean, does he really have to wait for sex? And I'm like, hell yeah, he got to wait for sex. Like, I'm not having sex with just any and everybody. This ain't an open bakery. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. These cinnamon rolls and croissants and everything is not for everybody.
Croissants, motherfucker.
Croissants is, nice, warm, and flaky. No, let's not say flaky, but
just say nice and warm.
Nice and warm. Okay,
there's nice crust on the outside.
It's nice crust. That's nasty. That sounds like a yeast infection. But it's not for everybody, and so I don't want to compromise in that. But I do believe that God will give me the desires of my heart and the desires that I'm looking for. And so
I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no race to this shit.
Exactly. So, and that's another thing, especially coming from an African family. I'm 30.
Of course.
I'm gonna be 31 this year in the fall.
What type of shit they say to you?
So, okay. So when I went home for Christmas, that was my first time going home in like a year or two for Christmas, and so they're like, Amen, because the way you say it in my language is Amen, not Amen, and so they're like, Amen. Come. And I'm like, yes. So you haven't brought anybody back with yourself here? I was like, what do you like? What you mean, Auntie? You haven't brought anybody. I'm tired of seeing you come here by yourself. And I was like, what you trying to say? Like, you're not getting younger. And I was like, okay. And, I usually just brush it off. But then, like, I have a specific uncle. I'm going to say his name because he knows he's out there. My Uncle Chris is extra. And so he'd be like, his voice is like that. You don't have a boyfriend? No. Okay, soon you will have a boyfriend. And I'm like, what the heck? And they're like, you're not getting any younger and stuff. And I understand. They just want to see me in love. I get it. Yeah. But then some of them are just like, hey, you're 30, you're going to be 31. And I was like, so?
It's also an older generation too. Mm-hmm. So an older generation, they kind of did everything a little bit earlier than us, right? So they got married when they were like 22, had kids when they're 24, 25. Yeah. But my mom, she had me when she was like 34.
Oh wow!
Yeah, my mom's a cradle robber, dude. She's like 7 years older than my dad.
Dang!
Yeah, dude. My dad's a grave robber and she's a cradle robber.
The youngest I ever even looked like at any type of dude was like maybe 4 years younger. He was fine. Jeez. He was so mature for his age. I even had to be like, dang, you a baby, but then you ain't a baby. So it's like,
so you said, I don't understand how you stayed a virgin. You fucking got some unholy thoughts.
Get out of here.
You got sinful thoughts.
Don't we all know?
on your guys' radio stuff, you know what I'm really curious about? Specifically, now that you actually brought that up, I guess I don't really think about a lot of stuff that isn't really talked about in the church. Like, for example, like I always wonder too, like if some of these girls like masturbated like within church, because they always acted like they didn't. They're like, oh, I don't do that type of shit. Yeah. They would openly be like, no, I don't do that type of stuff. I'm like, really? Like at all? Because a lot of my other friends who didn't go to church that are females, they talk about it openly. Yeah. And they're so open about their sexuality. Like, yeah, I masturbate. Yeah. But
the thing is this is the problem that we have in the church, the older church. I think the younger church, the people who are like our age and getting older, they're becoming a little bit more vocal with stuff. But the church has this, I don't know, it's kind of like this mentality of judgment. And so some people feel like their sins aren't equivalent to your sin. So if you're doing a sexual sin or something, you're going straight to hell, like hellfire, type of thing. And that's why people don't want to talk about it, because these are real issues. Most of the time when people, and everyone has their own reasoning, but most of the time when people masturbate, there's something that they're making up that masturbation for. There's a loneliness, or there's they're longing for affection in some type of way.
You'd be surprised with a guy, though. We ain't longing for nothing. Well, I'm just trying to get my homework done.
Really?
You don't need. Let me tell you something about a dude and his dick. All right.
But guys,
the most annoying thing about a dude is the fact that our penis controls everything at a young age. I'm not even. I'm telling you right now. Hormones. It's the hormones. I'm telling you right now. I could go beat off in the bathroom like it's nothing. I'm not thinking about shit. I'll just knock it out and I'll come back and I'll solve a quadratic equation because now my mind is clear. Yeah. Like your mind is clouded. It's fucking annoying. Sometimes too, like I'll be doing work and I'm like, man, I need to jack off real quick. It's like, why? Because I can't think.
Yeah.
Doom. And I guarantee you have me masturbate 2 times in a row. I'll fucking figure out how to cure cancer right now.
What?
I'll do it right now. That's how clouded your fucking mind gets. I'm not even kidding you. Like guys don't really have, in my personal opinion, actually not even my personal opinion, any dude can attest to this shit. Guys, when they masturbate, it's not like a whole ordeal. There's no emotional attachment to it. It's just, my dick's hard, pop, 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 get it out the way.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not this whole ordeal about, we don't gotta light a fucking candle to set that aside, get the mood going. Like it's not even.
But you don't, so when it happens, y'all don't think about it? Like, is there a reason why it's frequent? You understand?
It's because we're young. It's a natural animalistic thing that we are trying to fight. So in my what I see it as is this. It's like we're animals, right? And I think for the male thing, it's that as animals, we're trying to literally put our seed in everything. And so for us as humans, we have like a higher intellect and we generally don't need that. Yeah. Right? We don't need to populate the earth with everything. Like we don't need our genes to survive that long, but we still have those instincts. So for a dude, we reproduce semen consistently all the fucking time.
Yeah, y'all do. Y'all got like what, 1 million?
We got
1 billion?
We got bajillions, right? And women have a certain set of eggs.
We
and
sure
you guys,
do. Lord, my eggs need to be great.
And that shit just releases. For us, our semen just continues over and over and over. We could have kids till we're like 50 or 60 years old as long as we can get our dick up.
That sure is true, because shade, but my uncle just had a baby and my uncle's like about to be like 65.
Damn, he got a daddy grandpa. That's what
I know, like, bruh, like when my cousin grows up, I pray my uncle's still here.
Oh, he won't be. 100%. He's 65.
Yeah, because he's older than my dad. My dad turned 61 this year.
Damn.
My daddy's good. Listen, my daddy is good looking, and my mama's gonna be 57 this year.
Your mom looks so good. She looks young.
That's why I'm gonna look. I mean, people think I'm 16. So
your mom has a type of energy, dude. Like I tell you, like it's so funny when you were doing the whole refresh event, and I saw your mom, and I was like, damn, dude, she looks very nice, but she looks like she'd kill me at the same time. she just has one of those presences. It's like, man, I'm so glad she's on my side. Because she looks like she's so close to God, she could literally just start stepping on air and just go to heaven real quick, ask God a question, and come right back down. Yo, that's what your mom looks like.
She's so heavenly. I'm sorry.
That's what your mom looks like. Like I shit you not. I'm not even sure. I'm not fucking with you. I swear to God, your mom did this. She was like, Jesus. Okay. And then I was like, what? Did you just talk to God right now? Like when people say they pray and they're talking to God, your mom is literally talking to God.
Yeah, my mom, no, she a baddie though. She she's close to God for real. Like that woman is heaven sent. Yeah.
It's so funny. You know what I was cracking up about though during the whole refresh thing was that your mom was gassing you up so much, right? She goes. She's just talking about this is my anointed one, and I'm like, damn. What about all the other kids? She didn't say
they ain't there, so they don't gotta worry.
She didn't say a damn word about all the other kids. She just said like this one right here. Everybody else, meh. But this one, and I was like, damn, dude. I wish we recorded that shit and sent it to all your siblings. Like,
they'd be like, what the hell?
She don't give a fuck about y'all.
My brothers and my sister, mommy loves me better. No, I'm joking. But no, my mom, she's amazing. I learned a lot from her. And she's just, it's funny because like every time she comes to LA, people call her queen. Because we went to church and she walked in. And so they were like, yo, your mom is like, y'all know when you watch Coming to America.
Exactly. The petals, the rose petals.
And they were waiting for the queen to come. That's your mom.
She's your queen.
Yeah, because when my mom, her booty big. So when my mom walks, she swishes. And so like all my friends was like, damn.
Oh, and by the way, this is her mom got this with me.
My mom got that for her. You know she's in Nigeria right now. I'm going to actually tell her to bring some back for y'all.
Yo, I only got
she
this
needs
one.
to get one for Paul, because Paul didn't get one.
Oh.
Because there was only 4. Yeah, so I got to get one for Paul. So
this is awesome. I just try not to wear this in public because it always starts up a conversation.
Yeah, I need to get you a long sleeve one, like the one that goes up to the neck. Yo, that looks so fly on you.
That's because this chest right here, people be asking too much questions. They're like, you going in for surgery or what? I'm like, nah, man, I just got my chest out.
No, just shoot. You know, I'm Afro-Asian.
You know what's so funny? When Z gave this to us, it was at this brunch spot. And then there was this other lady, it was a black lady. She came up, she goes, oh my God, that is so beautiful. I was like, this shit's authentic. I got hyped.
I didn't get it off Crenshaw. I got it straight from the motherland.
I was like, this is real as fuck. You want to touch it?
Exactly.
It's real. I was hyped.
I know. Yo, I'm so glad. It's funny because I didn't think you were going to pick that one. I thought you were going to pick the green one.
This one was the biggest one.
Oh.
At the time. So the other ones were smaller. So, and now it's kind of baggy on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was your skinny self.
But this shit feels good though. Please, I want another one.
Yeah. I'm going to tell my mama. She'll get you.
I can't wait till this shit's like in fashion because I 100% know it will be. And it's going to cause a lot of Twitter drama. But
exactly.
People don't understand how comfortable this shit is.
It's so comfortable. First of all, if it start any Twitter drama with you or Instagram drama, just direct them to me.
I will.
Because I'm the one who gave it to Dave and y'all stop hating, so chill out.
My best friends were whining this shit too. You know, I got so mad at him. I was like, by the way, my other friends got me a dashiki before you did, motherfucker.
Tell him he need to step up. Shoot, I don't play no games. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
This shit was so nice. I was like, oh my God. People don't know. They don't realize how comfortable this is.
Yeah.
And it looks so dope.
Yeah.
People don't realize.
Ooh, if you had a hat on right now, that would be so clutch.
And I would wear Korean shit, but we got 18 layers to our clothes. So it's like our traditional guard is called a hanbok. That shit got hanbok. It has like 16 fucking layers.
Really?
It's heavy.
So it's not the same as like Z's people.
No, Z's people shit is way different. They got the little fucking hat with the sleeves on the inside
sleeves,
and shit.
Yeah,
our hanboks have like a lot of layers to it. It's the whole ordeal to wear it. But then I hear like in Korea, a lot of like fashion people are trying to modernize that shit.
Really?
So if they modernize it, I would rock that shit. But as of right now, you ain't got shit on this.
No, you need to go like whenever you and Tim do a food thing, you need to get all decked out, head to toe, and wear it, and just do.
I would fucking love that shit. Welcome to San Foods, motherfucker. I would do that shit so bad.
Yo, you got to do it. Like you and Tim, do y'all's native clothes and just eat and see the stands y'all gonna get.
You know what's so interesting though? Like because my best friend's Rwandese African, like I grew up around his family so much, and a lot of people didn't get this. And specifically, I was telling Mariel about this. It's like America sees Africans and Black Americans as the same thing, but it's culturally so fucking different. And people, it's so weird how they can't see that because it's not even African and Black that's different. It's immigrant. Immigrant mentality is different from bred American.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest difference that I would see. So like when I was telling Mariel about it, she didn't really get it. She goes, what do you mean?
It's totally different.
Well, I was like, Gabo, he's Rwandan, but a big part of him also relates to him being a Black American. And I think that's just because of how America sees him as well, and probably how he sees himself too, because he doesn't really speak like Kinyarwanda and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's still ethnically Rwandan, but how everybody else views him or the world views him is as a Black American.
Yeah, because when you're not talking, even if they don't see your license, they're gonna think you're a Black man.
Yeah.
The only time they see you, unless you have like tribal marks, like my mom does, or my sister has tribal marks.
Oh, for real?
Because my sister was actually born in Nigeria. I'm the first one that was born here, and then my brothers after me were born here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like unless you have tribal marks and you know what tribal marks are, you'd be like, oh, you kind of look like, they'll say exotic African American.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that type of thing. But it's true because like even at home, back at home, that's Nigeria. When you enter the doors of my house, that's Nigeria. When you leave the house, it's America. And so there was this weird like complex for me because it's like, I know that I could say half the stuff that my friends said at school. At home, my mom was like, what did you just say? I better go and sit down. Who taught you that? You know, that kind of thing. And so my dad will be like, you know, you're not Black American, you're African. So there's this kind of thing, like I think with immigrant culture, and I know that a lot of us are trying to break it down now because there used to be this divide with African Americans and immigrants.
Yeah.
And so my dad, I know for a fact, my dad had an issue with African Americans when he first got here because African Americans were like literally against him. They're like, go back to Africa. You're taking all our opportunity and you're getting this and that, or, you know, whatever. And the first person that helped him was actually a Indian man.
Oh, wow.
An Indian man that was the first man that helped him. And he was working at a Shell gas station when he first got here. He experienced racism from everybody else.
Yeah.
And he was just surprised that a Black man would talk to him in that kind of way. So there's a whole different like complex when it comes to Africans and African Americans.
And it's weird because like I would see that growing up and I would hear these conversations is because it's kind of like this. So a friend of mine told me about this shit too, where how she grew up with it, and how she explained to me was when she was younger, because she identifies as being African. She goes, I never really understood. She kind of empathized with a lot of the racial stereotypes that people were saying about Black people because she was an immigrant, right? So people would say stuff like, "Oh, Black people are lazy. You know, they have all this opportunity." It's because she would hear this from her parents as well,
yeah.
right? Because it's an African mentality, right? Because I personally, for me, like how I see it and what I've seen, African people and Korean people are very similar, work ethic wise. And so for them, and her father was like, "I work hard. I'm an immigrant. I came to this country. How did I get all this opportunity?"
Yeah.
But I hear these people who are African American, they've been here for years and years and years. So what's their excuse? And so she kind of grew up with that. But what happens to certain people, I believe, is that there's a certain flip, because you could say that as much as you want in your own world. And as I mentioned before, just because you see yourself as an African doesn't mean the rest of the world does.
Exactly.
And so when they get treated poorly and they're like, hold on a second, I'm not Black American, I'm African. But then they start to feel the weight of those stereotypes. And you don't have a choice on whether you feel that or not. You could sit there and tell that person, yo, I'm African, I'm actually not Black. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so
not at all.
So when you feel that type of hatred and you feel that type of just like institutionalized hate,
Yeah.
then it starts to like flip these different gears. It's like, oh, well, maybe it's not because of the whole thing of them being lazy. Maybe it might be they might be at an actual disadvantage.
Yeah. Systematically, African Americans, Blacks, whatever term you want to use, Negroes, we're all Negroes. Like this whole entire system was never built for us, even though the system was built by us.
Yeah.
You know, this country, the foundation was laid by slavery. So now it's like there's not actual old school slavery like being in the field and picking cotton. No, now it's more of an institutionalized prison system set up to be a detriment to the Black race. Yeah. So it's always something like people. I remember one time at SC and I had to catch myself because you know, and this is a whole nother thing that could be talked about too. But as a Black woman, one of my counterparts was like, well, you know, all of us women, we all go through stuff. Yeah. We all go through this and that. We all are at a disadvantage. And this was before the Me Too movement and all this other stuff. And I said, I'm sorry. you're white, right? She was like, yeah. I was like, you go through stuff, but you're not going to go through what I go through. As a Black woman, if you went into the store, I went into the store, and one of our friends that's Asian, and then another one of our friends that's Mexican that goes into the store, who are they going to follow first?
Yeah.
They're going to follow me.
Yeah.
Then they might follow, our Hispanic friend. Then they might follow our Asian friend. They're not going to follow you.
Yeah.
So you have to learn that I'm already at the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
And you already have an advantage. Even though, you're a woman and you have issues with payment and stuff like that. But remember, as a Black woman, a minority woman, us Asian women and Hispanic women are already like lowest of the low.
Yeah.
And she could not wrap her mind around it.
It's hard because people don't experience it for themselves. Like it goes back to, and I don't, like when I hear about a woman like that, like I don't feel any hate towards her. It's just like, damn, like I wish I could just like take the experience. I wish I could take her out of her body and put her into yours for a second. And then maybe she would understand it a little bit. And it's not in a way to like hate on her. It's just more like you just don't know. And sometimes like I had the biggest trouble with this. And I had a conversation with a lot of kids about the school. So I grew up in Sacramento, California, right, in NorCal. I used to say the N-word like a motherfucker, and to this day, it slips out a lot just because I grew up with it as a kid.
Yeah.
I can tell you the very first moment I actually used the word. Like I'm talking about, I was chilling outside of my parents' store, and outside of my parents' store in South Sacramento, there used to be this food truck called Moe's. And Moe's used to serve these like tacos, these Philly cheesesteaks and whatever. So every night around like 5 o'clock, Moe's would roll up on the block. There was Lord Tony's Artistic Fingers. There was the Punjab store. We used to call it Punjabs. I found out it's not actually called Punjabs recently. It only clicked recently.
You're also wrong.
Yeah, we didn't know because they called it Punjabs too. Because we called it Punjabs. So he'd be like, welcome to Punjabs.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, it's Punjab.
Like, who's Punjab?
Yeah, so we didn't know. I only found out recently that was a racist thing. I was like, oh shit, it's not called Punjabs.
Nope.
But that's what we called it on the block. So, and I remember that all these like OGs used to kick it outside, and I was a young kid, and this dude legit told me to say this. He goes, hey, what's up, young blood? I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm like super young, and then he goes, what do you call me? I was like, I don't know your name, right? He goes, oh, what do you call me? I was like, I don't know. He's like, say I'm your nigga. And I'm like, what? And I was like, okay. And I just, from that point on, it was almost like I felt like I was accepted into a group, right? Because I never really knew about that word. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I can't remember the exact number. He goes, whenever you say, what's up, my nigga? That's what you say.
Yeah.
And it became ingrained in me so much. And it just started becoming something so casual and colloquial that everybody said it. Even in Sacramento right now, anybody in NorCal to this day can attest that I guarantee you in Northern California, people use that word more freely than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Mexicans, Asians, Black people, whatever, because it was like a sign of endearment. But what people forget too is that's not you don't get a passport all across the world. That's within your little niche.
Yeah.
Right? So when somebody says, hey, that word offends me, you can't sit there and argue with somebody
and say, well, so-and-so. Exactly.
You don't have that pass. And what I mean by that is a lot of people don't understand this statement when I say everybody's allowed to have an opinion about something 100%. But the difference is whether how much you believe your opinion matters on a subject that doesn't affect you.
Exactly. Because the thing is like especially with the word nigga, like a lot of people. So I used to live, before I moved to where I am now, I used to live in what they call like Little Tijuana of downtown. Like my neighbors were all Mexican, like down the block. And so I was outside one day and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to chill with these people because, I see them spray painting the building all the time. At least let me get cool with these hood rats so that, like, if something happens, you know, they'll be there. And so I heard them calling each other nigga. And I'm like, I don't see no niggas around here. It's just Hispanic dudes. And I was like, but why? Culture has taken that word and made it hip.
Yeah.
And for people who are not Black, whenever I be like I told the dudes, I was like, y'all don't use that word. Yeah. And they're like, why? It's in the music and stuff. I was like, yeah, it's in the music of a Black person saying it to their niggas or whatever it is. Yeah. But if you go down the street and say that to somebody, you're going to get cut. Yeah. So you need to be mindful. Like the word has become so loose, but at the same time, some people say it because they're trying to be trendy or hip,
Yeah.
or in a term of endearment or whatever may be their usage. But then it's kind of hard because this word came as something like hateful.
Yeah.
And so I've been in this weird space with even me using the word, because I'm like, dang, like I know, like, oh, this is my nigga, but then at the same time, it's like, bruh, my ancestors, whether they were here in America or still in Nigeria, like, they went through so much stuff. And would they want us to call them niggas? Like, why would I continue that? So it's that whole word, I could talk a long time about.
It goes back and forth,
exactly.
because there's the other opinion of, well, we took that word and we made it positive. So why can't we use it? You know?
Exactly. And it's like
I see that point too. So
I see that point.
So it's like this and that.
But even then, like, okay, like, I will pose a question to you, like, do people use gook all the time with you?
No, they don't, because for us, like, I feel like nobody has been able to turn that word into something positive yet. Like, and it just doesn't have that cultural effect. Like, for example, the type of oppression, like, you know, today everybody's doing this bullshit now. I call it the oppression Olympics. You know what I mean? And they're really trying to battle like black cultures. Like, well, we're oppressed too. Hold on. That's true. But we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, people have to realize, like, for me, and I don't know if it's because I grew up in Sacramento, California. My best friend's African. He's Black American. I don't know why, but I feel this way. But I do feel this way, that that's not a battle you're going to win in this country specifically.
Yeah.
The story and the historical relevance and like pain that comes from specifically slavery in this country that African Americans feel or Black Americans feel is something that you can't sit there and say, well, I've been oppressed too, because this isn't like an oppression Olympics. We're not trying to joust to see whose oppression is more difficult, right? You're not going to win that battle, right? So it's such a weird subject for me. So even for me, when I hear people use that word, and I sometimes hear people who, in my mind, and I have no right to have an opinion about them, and this is where I say, like, where my opinion is just my opinion and it doesn't have any weight. It's like, I'm like, man, I guarantee you never grew up around a single Black person, but you use that word.
Yeah. No, seriously. And that's the thing. Like, some white dudes the other day were in a convertible top and they were playing, I don't know if it was like ASAP Rocky. I don't know. Something. It's so many rappers out there. And so the song says nigga, and they was just like bump up. I was like, I know half of y'all with this polo shirt on don't have any Black friends and y'all just using it freely.
Yeah.
So like, it irks me because it's like, I don't know. It irks me because some people give passes, and then the moment somebody says nigga the wrong way, because it's all about delivery, they get twisted. And I'm like, but you let them say this the whole time in front of you, so you have to be mindful of what you're doing and what you're saying and what you're accepting. So, you know, just be mindful. I mean, I've been using the word so much that I start calling people who not niggas. So then I just be saying, like, I'll be calling you a Z ninja now, because I'm like, okay, let me say ninja, you know, that kind of thing.
It's hard, man. And it's so funny because people write on comments, just like, well, you used to say it back in the day. And I was like, I did. I'm not shying away from that fact, but you didn't grow up like I did. You didn't grow up around the people that I did. You didn't grow up in the culture that I did.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, if they go, well, maybe you'll say it now and then we're going to catch it. You will catch me saying it. You will 100,000%. I'll put it out there on this podcast right now. You will catch me saying that word because a lot of my friends use it. And it will slip out. Just
like let's not get it twisted. Every culture has a word for some race. Like, even for us, like, you know, some Nigerians, they used to say chinchan. When they're, you know, but then now they say chinko. Like, oh, he was chinko. And that could be very derogative, right? So every culture has it. Y'all just need to be mindful of how you're using it and stuff like that. That's my biggest thing. Like, every culture has that shit. And like I'm saying, like, it just is, I'm going to say it again and it goes back. You can have an opinion about something, but just know whether your opinion has weight on a subject that doesn't affect you. Exactly. Because if you don't have the weight, bruh, go sit down. Because I This one kid came up to me during a college show. He goes, yo, man, like, I just want to know what's your opinion about, you know, saying the word nigga. And I was like, well, first of all, bro, you're asking. Was he Black? He's Asian. I was like, you asking the wrong person. My opinion doesn't matter. Exactly. It doesn't matter. And the fact that you think that I am some kind of like pass for you, like I could give you this pass,
I'm the wrong person to ask, dude.
But we live in a culture, and especially a society now, that we're looking for passes from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. We're looking for validation. Like, oh, okay. Well, if Dave is saying it, then I'm going to say it. If Kim Kardashian, well, bad example. Bad example.
Yeah.
But if Bart is saying it, okay, I'm gonna say if Makeup Shayla is doing this, then I'm gonna do. Like, people are just like, okay, well, they're doing this, so I'm gonna do it. Nah, bruh, make your own decisions. That's what you need to do, and stop trying to have somebody else lead the way for you who you barely even know.
Yeah, and if you feel weird about it now, then you probably shouldn't say it.
Say that again.
If you feel weird about it now, then you probably shouldn't say it.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
It is what it is. And I don't know, man, bruh.
And I've always wanted to talk about this subject, but then, people always advise me, it's like, it's a little touchy. I'm like, it's not touchy because it's just truth to me. I mean, I can have a conversation with somebody. If, like, for example, like, I'll put it like this. If somebody came up to me, he was a black dude, and he was like, you know what? Don't you ever use that word. I'll probably in front of him, I was like, I'll try my best not to. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit there and argue with the guy. How? Yeah. He's not going to. It's the same way if he goes, you know what? If he came up to me and then he said something, I don't know. Let's say like he had an opinion about how Asian men should be. I'd be like, the fuck do you know?
Because you're not Asian.
You're not an Asian dude. So don't have an opinion about how Asian masculinity is. I don't want to hear your fucking opinion about that shit. It's not something that you experience. So it works both ways.
Yeah.
And people just don't see it. For some reason, some people are so fucking attached to that word, and I can't understand why.
Well, because the thing is the word is rooted in hatred.
Yeah.
And so whenever something that is rooted in hatred comes up as a trend, it is kind of, there's multiple aspects of it. People look at it as a mockery. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm saying nigga, nigga, nigga now, but it's nothing. But to some people, it means something. Yeah. Because that strikes a chord within us. Like,
it feels funny.
Yeah, it feels funny. Because even me, like, even sometimes, like, even when I may use it, or if like somebody's like, "What's up, nigga?" to me, and they're black, like, yeah, it's like cool. The reason why we have so much candor with that word now is because it's almost like we're reclaiming it, and we know the strife that has come with it. Yeah. But if a white person or a Hispanic person or somebody came up to me and was like, "What's up, nigga?" I'll say, "What you just say? Yeah. You trying to catch these hands?" Yeah. Because now it's like you don't know the weight that comes with it. Yeah. You don't know the weight. Like the first time somebody called me nigga was when I was in the 6th grade. This guy was making fun of me at lunch. And so he told his sister, who was in the 8th grade, to come and like try to scare me or whatever. And I stood up and I said, "I ain't scared of you," like that. And I was like, "If you got a problem, we can talk about this after school." And like, whatever. Oh, shit. Yeah. So we had a shouting match. I didn't hit her, nothing like that, but we ended up getting in trouble. Yeah. And her mom comes to pick her up after the principal's office and all this stuff. And her mom rolls down. They had a green Suburban. I remember this so vividly. Her mom picks them up, rolls them down. He had like red hair and his sister had brown hair. She's like, "Is that the nigga that got you in trouble?" Huh. And I remember I've, especially as an African child, I've never heard anybody call me that. Like I've heard people call me African booty scratcher, stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But like nigga was like, I didn't even know what that word was. Yeah. So I'm like, what? Like, this feels really bad. I started crying. And I told my mom when I got home, even though I was already in trouble for that, but I was like, "Mommy, she called me nigger." And she said, "What?" I was like, "She called me nigger." My dad was like, "Oh, I'm going up to that school tomorrow." Yeah. And my dad told the principal, the vice principal was black. The regular principal was white. But it was so weird. And that's when the first time I felt the hate of the word. So I never used the word up until like my mid-20s. Yeah. There's hatred there because I was like, oh my gosh, is she going to follow me going home? And then like, I'm in Texas. Yeah. The KKK going to come up to our house and throw some cocktails and burn our house down. Like, I just don't know. I was scared. Yeah. So a lot of times when people hear that from another race, they're like, oh, snap. Like, what you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to say? Yeah. So it's touchy. It's hard. But everybody just needs to evaluate why they're using that word.
And it's just a weird need. So like for example, if if like a blonde haired white girl was like, okay, well, why can't I use the word? Because I hear it in music all the time. And that's not you're not asking the right question. It's why do you need to say it?
Exactly. Thank you.
That's the real question is why do you need to? Why is it such a big thing to you that you have to say it? And it's like, well, everybody else gets to. Well, guess what? Welcome to the oppression club then. Because now, well, welcome to a club where you
preaching on today.
Welcome to the club where you don't get to do something because of the color of your skin then.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So,
and it's not even something big. It's something so small.
Very small. And they get so riled up off of something so small. And don't get me started. Like, it's not like we over here buying our ways into schools. Okay? Shade. Full house.
Yeah, I know why that house was full, because you had it full of money.
Okay. If you really want to do some damage, give me $500,000 to pay my student loans and let me go buy this house. Okay. You over here. It's not like it's a word that they feel like they get so mad. I've literally seen people get red in the face because we're like, don't use that word. Why can't I use it? And I'm like,
why are you so mad about
that? Why are you
this?
so mad?
Like, what? I don't get that part.
And then I start laughing because it's not supposed to be funny. But I'm laughing because you this mad off of a word. And I'm mad because I just walked into the store and old girl was following me around trying to act like, oh, do you need help? I told you 3 times I don't need help.
Yeah.
So, it's like that kind of stuff. You want to have the privilege of being mad for something small like that. When I don't even have the privilege of having peace when I go to the store, or I don't have the privilege of having peace when I'm driving down the street and 2 cops are like side by side and they're checking out my tags, even though my tags are valid.
Yeah.
So it's just like little stuff like that is what pisses me off when a specific race gets mad because they can't use the word.
And it's weird too, because like I even think about it like this in the sense of like in white America, right? So it's weird how even till this day, people don't, with all the knowledge and all the conversation that's happening now with it, they still don't understand. They go, okay, well, I heard this like Asian or Mexican dude use it, and people just kind of shrugged it off. They're not black. It's like, but there is a historical hatred that happened between white Americans and black Americans. So I don't know about them, but what I do know is that for some reason, when you say it, it hurts a lot more. Mm-hmm. It feels weird. Mm-hmm. It feels a certain way. Even for me, I'm not even black, but I feel weird about it. I'm like, something weird about you saying it for some reason. Exactly. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Maybe, like I said, it's probably because of the neighborhood that I grew up in. I grew up around a lot of black people. Yeah. And so I get a taste of that. So it feels weird when it rolls off your tongue, because it's kind of like people before you, and we're not holding you to it, against it. Like, I'm not hating you for it, but that means that you're not acknowledging what happened before, and now you have this word that was used to ridicule somebody, to belittle them, and now that it's cool. Okay, so you get to do that when it was cool then, and you get to do it now when it's cool now. Mm-hmm. So how's that fair?
My thing is don't. You get mad about the word, but you can't even understand when your black coworker comes to work, especially a black woman, and they tell her, oh, you need to press your natural hair. Yeah. If you can't even understand the fundamentals of that alone, you don't even need to be using the word. Yeah. If you can't understand the reasoning as to why we're mad when it comes to police relations and black people, don't use the word. Yeah. If you can't understand that 9 times out of 10, if a black man is driving a luxurious car and he's in a all white neighborhood, more than likely he's going to get the cops called on him. You can't use the word. Like, it's literal things like that. Like, I'm like, you don't understand the oppression, just like you were saying before. You will, and more than likely, they probably will never understand the oppression at all. So I don't understand this notion of bitterness or anger when they get so mad when you tell them that they can't do something. Oh, you know why? It's because they've never been told that they can't do anything. Exactly. And so that's why when they meet that type of friction, they're like, oh, wait, you're telling me I can't do something? I'm privileged. I can do whatever I want. No, you can't.
Yeah. And that's what it feels like. And, I feel like anybody who is a white American that's listening to this, this is not a negative conversation where I'm dogging on like white Americans. Like, oh, it's all good. It's just it's a frustration that people feel.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if it was understood.
Yeah.
And communicated that way. But like I said, when you have a conversation and somebody tells you how they feel about something and you're dismissive of it and you say you're just being sensitive, when you don't even know what it's like, it's kind of like, then where does this conversation go? Right? Because for me too, like, and I also get a note of the extra woke white people too. Like they annoy the fuck out of me even more. they piss me off even more. They're like, it's like,
because they try to. You're not woke. Sorry, I mean, you understand history. That's great. And you understand certain elements of social interactions and stuff. But some of them take it to the point to where, not all, because I have some friends who are white and they're woke. So I don't want to blanket everybody, but some that I've met, they legit think that they're so woke that they know the struggle.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh.
Rachel Dolezal.
Thank you.
That's one of them.
Because we don't, you don't open a can of worms. Rachel literally thinks, I can be black. Da-da-da. That's why she tans her skin. She gets her hair braided, whatever. Black people can't become white.
There's no choice.
And there's even a hashtag, you can see it on Instagram. There's some European white girls, and even some of them here. They've gotten so tan that they look like black girls.
Oh, really?
They look like black girls. They get their hair braided. I kid you not. If you did not see, this one girl exposed them, and it was like trending for like a couple months. It was like 3 or 4 girls. They look black. Like I didn't even know they weren't black until I saw a picture before and after. People want to be black because they think it's trendy. A lot of the times the trends that's hip and happening in popular culture came from black culture. They want to be black up until a certain extent, until they need to invest until they need to get loans or until they need to get that job or that acceleration. Being black is a trend, but they don't want to have all of the discords and the challenges that come with being black. Look, no shame to the Kardashians, but they got black bodies and everything that they do is based off of black culture, but they're still white. Yeah. They still have the privilege of being, they're Armenian, but they have Eurocentric features that kind of like they're not going to get the discrimination that black people get. Yeah. And so it's this thing like people want to soak it up and have this culture, but they don't want the things that come with it. Rachel can today she can stop tanning and stop putting weave in her head, and she's going to look like a white woman and get all her privileges back. Yeah.
And that's the weird thing, when I saw a picture of what she looked like before, that bitch looked like a Puritan.
Yes.
She looked like she churned butter for a living.
Like she was Amish. Like,
I was like, you were purebred white.
Yes.
You were like straight from the waterfall.
Like she's over here making wool blankets and making her own butter. She got about 5 sheep,
I guess like the one thing that I did feel bad about for her was how bullied her kids were.
Yes.
That's kind of fucked up.
Because her kids are mixed race.
Yeah, her kids are mixed race kids, and they kind of feel the brunt of like her mom's choices, which sucks, Yeah. And I wish like they would just leave those kids fucking alone.
Yeah. I don't like when people bully kids at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like leave the kids out of it.
I think that's what people, I guess like for me, like I don't like that word cultural appropriation because it's been used so much. It kind of lost all its meaning, but that's cultural appropriation really means like picking and choosing when you get to have the benefits, but you don't take all the negative and all the stuff that comes along with it. And I think that's definitively what cultural appropriation is, right? Yeah. It's like you can say, like for example, I guess like a hot trend in modeling. There's this girl that I met through like on Instagram. She's a really dope girl. She's a model friend of my friend Darian, and she's kind of upset about this trend where these models are doing this. They're making their eyes slant eyes.
I didn't know that.
And they'll do this. They'll cover their face and they'll pull their eyes back, and it's like a trend right now.
Like doing this, and
it's like a trend.
Is it like with the picture, or like they actually putting their hands up?
Like the pictures, like a modeling photo to make like Asian eyes, and it's like a trend right now. And so if Asian people don't understand what it feels like, that's why people had I guess like a certain. I mean, it was kind of extreme, like the whole dreads thing when they saw a white person with dreads. Some people took that really extreme, but I can kind of understand why it felt that way, because it was like, so I used to get made fun of for that hair. People said it was dirty. People said it was raggedy as fuck. But now you put it on, and now you're this woke ass person, and you're a trendsetter. So what the fuck? Well, I don't get that shit. You know. So it's the same thing with these Asian eyes when people see this shit. It's like, so maybe that's what it feels like.
Yeah, this particular race does this with everybody. They do it with the black folks. They do it with the Asian folks. They do it with Hispanic folks. They do it with the Indians. Yeah. I mean, look at Redskins. Yeah. We still haven't changed the name of the football team. Yeah. You know? So it's like, it frustrates me so badly because it's like they don't care. Like, you can bring it up as much as you want and they'll try to act like, oh, we're hearing you, but you haven't done anything. Yeah. And I don't know where that culture came from, where it's like, okay, like, for instance, I was so pissed off when Kim Kardashian posted her Sade Adu braids that she had. And she was like, oh, it's by, what was it? What's the girl's name? Billy, or I forgot, some white model from like the 70s. I said, that came from Africa. Okay. The Zulu people were doing their hair like that. And that's the hairstyle. She's like, oh, I think it was not Bojangles. Lord, I'm thinking about a certain name. But yeah, like,
about that fried chicken joint in the fucking
yeah, like, just like they've been doing this for age. Bo Derek, yeah, there we go. They've been doing this for ages with minstrelsy, like, doing the blackface, or like when they wanted to portray Indians in movies, they would all like do like a really tan brown face and feathers in their hair. I just like, it pisses me off when I see stuff like, I haven't seen that yet. So I know I will be infuriated by that, because it's just like, you're doing this. What were you doing that for?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the point? Just like with your lip injections. Y'all were making fun of us. Ooh.
For the big lip and the big booty, and it's hot. Isn't that so fucking wild? Remember? Like people used to make fun of that fucking joke. It's like, oh my God, look at her fucking fat ass. Like it was a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And now it's it's fucking hot right now.
Like, oh my gosh, she got me. I got my lips done. Jay-Z lips. Like, what the heck? This is trendy now. Yeah. And that's what pisses me off, man. It's just, I can't.
It's a weird feeling, man, because it's like everything that you were made fun of before is now the hot thing. Mm-hmm. And now you go from like, people sometimes see it as this. It's like, well, aren't you happy? Because now like you're the it thing. But it's like, no, because now it's like, I feel like an object. Like I feel, now I get to, well, you're saying now I have the privilege to be like objectified or something. Mm-hmm. Like it's hard to explain to somebody, Yeah. And I don't want to sound like somebody that's complaining about this stuff. But as I get older, I do think about this stuff. Yeah. Like things just don't roll off my shoulders like it used to.
Yeah. But the thing is I'm not going to feel happy. Yeah. Because I'm not benefiting from this. They're benefiting from it. They can have the hairstyle and then go back to their normal lives and they're fine. Yeah. But this is who I am. My hair is kinky. Yeah. Okay. But if you're telling me to press, I remember I was trying out right after I got out of grad school at SC. I was trying out for like, I wanted to do TV reporting instead of print reporting. Yeah. And so this lady told me straight up, there's a really big brand that does like placement and styling for on-air reporters. And so, I showed her like my portfolio and my reel and everything. She was like, well, if you want to be on TV, you're going to need to lose like 80 pounds. Shit. Yes. And you need to do something with your hair. Yeah. I was like what with my hair? Like, I can put it in a bun. I can do that. She was like, no, you're going to have to straighten that. And in my mind, I'm like, what's the problem with my natural hair? Yeah. Literally. And so that blew me away, because I've never experienced that kind of professional like prejudice or that professional like racism. And so I went to the bathroom and I bawled my eyes out. Yeah. And so there was a reporter that was hearing me crying, and she was like, girl, do what you need to do. She was like, the game has not changed for years and years. If you need to wear a wig for now, and then later on down the line, you can wear your natural hair, but just do what you need to do. And hearing her, that even made me mad.
Because she gave in?
She gave in. And this is a well-known reporter. And I'm just like, I get it, but when are we going to stop? Like, for real, y'all are hating on me because my hair is kinky? Yeah. And y'all telling me that I have to subject myself to your American standards.
Yo, people didn't even understand this concept. I actually wrote a sketch for Khalif called Let Me Touch Your Fro. Ooh. Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
So people thought it was hilarious, but I wrote that sketch for Khalif because I always heard that shit growing up. And I always say this, I always shout out my hometown Sacramento because of how culturally diverse it is. Because a lot of the stuff that people talk about, I wouldn't be on their wavelength. Like they didn't understand what was the problem. Why can't I ask to touch his hair? Because he's not your fucking pet.
That's why
It's hair. It's his hair. Like even like so, I love Meryl to death, but she didn't grow up around a single fucking black person. So for her, she's just for Khalif, because he's like one of my closest friends. She's like Khalif, like, do you mind if I touch your hair? And I told her, I was like, it's okay because Khalif, we're close like that, but in general, you shouldn't do that. Like it's not something that you should do. And for she's a fucking intelligent woman, so she was like, oh, I understand, she gets it, But for her, it's just ignorance.
at least she asked.
At least she fucking asked. Some people just go up and touch it.
Because I smacked this woman's hand one day. Yes, I sure did. Last year I had an afro. It wasn't my hair, but it was a weave. But it was really
you
big.
bought it. It's your fucking hair.
Yeah, I bought it. So it was real big. This woman, like, I'm helping her, like, I'm at work, and then yeah, okay. All of a sudden, I feel something in my head. She put her hand in my head. I said, "Excuse me, no." You don't do that. Oh, I just wanted to touch. I was like, would you like it if I started doing this to you? And I started putting my hands all up in her hair, like, oh my gosh, your hair's so straight.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. I said, oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you don't do that. I'm not your pet. This is my hair. You don't touch me without asking.
Exactly. And it's so weird how even at that moment, when you said, excuse me, what are you doing? She thought that, oh, I was just touching your hair was an acceptable response. And then she thought, oh, it's going to be cool if I say I was just touching your hair. It's like if I was chilling, right? And then some lady or dude came up and touched Mariel's hair because they thought it was so silky. I would grab that motherfucker's hand. I'd snap his fucking hand. So you don't fucking touch it without asking.
Exactly.
It's the same concept. That's what I'm saying. That's like this huge disconnect. And I've never been able to understand that because, well, number one, my parents owned a beauty supply store. So I grew up around black women 20.
I'm still waiting on my hair.
Yo, let me know what you want because my parents might retire in a couple years.
I need a 24-inch.
24-inch? What?
I don't know. I got to think about Peruvian.
You want that Indian Remy hair?
Yes.
You trying to get that silky shit?
I'm trying to.
Yo, hair got fucking expensive as shit, dude.
Yes.
So like, we're gonna do some hair talk real quick. But so when I was working in my parents' store, I used to help them run it and shit. But I remember that was just out of nowhere, the hair prices skyrocketed. And you know what fucking happened? Fucking white people started to understand, like, yo, I don't have to do my actual hair and grow it out. I could just put in clips and extensions on. And then the price went boom. We used to have like the $7.99 packs, the $6.99 packs.
And it was all human hair. It wasn't human hair blend. It was the real thing.
Human hair. And it wasn't as good as some of the other stuff. But if people wanted something real quick that was cheap, because by the way, when you buy hair, that's not already the cost. The process costs more. So you got to buy this expensive ass hair.
You got to buy the needle to do the threading.
Exactly. And so like I just remember the prices skyrocketing and everybody they were mad at us like, oh, you trying to fucking profit. It's like, no, I don't think you realize this shit got hella expensive. Like our $7 packs became $15 packs. Our $10 packs were now $25. And it was just the same margins for us, but we just had to up it up. And people didn't get it. They thought we were trying to like, oh, you fucking trying to profit of. No, it's like, no, motherfucker.
We trying to live. Ooh, I'm trying to pay my bills.
What the fuck? I got this fucking like thrift store clothes on. What you think I'm balling? The fuck? I got this dashiki I got from somebody else. What are you talking about?
It's the same thing with wig culture too, because now everybody's wearing wigs.
Yo, I'm telling you real quick, when Beyonce, I forgot what performance it was, but she had that lace front wig. Lace front wigs blew the fuck up. And that's all everybody wanted from us because back in the day, it was just Pro Style gel and a fucking drawstring ponytail. It was like
full closure or something. Child, I miss the ponytail days.
It was easy back then.
It sure was. Like, you don't have to do all this. Oh my gosh, I need to put, the glue right here and lay the lace down, put down the baby. Like, it's just too much nowadays.
That's what the lace front did. It gave the baby hair so it looked real.
It looked like it came from your scalp, even though we all know that's some lace. We know that's some lace. That didn't come from your scalp.
Dude, that shit would be so funny because, like, I remember like I would hear people, like specifically when I was in school, because people don't expect this like Korean Asian kid to have grown up around black women with black women hair problems and everything, and I would just hear some shit that used to crack me up. They're like, damn, this girl every day she gets her hair done. She doesn't hit. She's like, she didn't get that hair done. She snapped that shit on real quick.
Yeah,
that shit took 2 seconds.
No, because I changed my hair like maybe every 2 weeks, and so I know my coworkers are like, dang. Oh, one coworker used to be like, "Oh, hey man, your hair grew a lot overnight." I'm like, "Half of you know that I put a weave in my head. Stop trying to make comments. We know it's a weave, okay?"
That's fucking funny, man.
Did you ever think that you were gonna marry a black woman?
I did. I actually thought that I probably would have ended up with either a Vietnamese girl, a black woman, or a Latina girl. But I never thought I'd be with a Korean girl. And even my best friend assumed that I was probably gonna end up with a black girl.
Wow.
Yeah. So did I. I legit did though.
I didn't think I would have always thought, oh, Dave's gonna be with a Korean girl. Or
yeah, that's so interesting, right?
When I first met you, I was like either a Korean girl or I could see you with somebody who's mixed, like Korean and like Hispanic or something.
Yeah, like I think it's just like, I don't know. Like it was so weird for me growing up, just because I think I grew up around so many black women. I just assumed, maybe. But then like I think like for once, I think people do get it twisted. Like I know we always hear these comments about Asian parents and how they don't like black people. Where my parents own a black beauty supply store. If they didn't like black people, why the fuck would they open a black beauty supply store?
Yeah.
That'd be the dumbest fucking thing on earth.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just hard culturally for my mom. So because family is so important for me, and for me to keep my culture alive, specifically in this country where I feel like it gets diluted because people tend to be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
If I did marry a black girl, she would have to know how to speak Korean. That was period in the story.
Oh, wow.
So it's like,
I know some that know how to speak, but maybe that's for you.
Yeah, those are so if I did, I guarantee you, if I met that one fine ass black girl and then she spoke Korean fluently, I would have chased her to the ends of the earth because I never saw it. You know what I'm saying? But like that was just such an important thing for me, was for me to preserve my culture, because I want my kids to know how to speak Korean.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just die with me.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the girls that I ended up dating, I would just bring it up casually, like, yo, so what would you think about learning language? I can't learn language. I'm like, well, this conversation's over.
It's over, yeah. I feel the same way. The first dude that I ever liked when I was in elementary school, he was Italian. And so I was like, well, I'm open. But now I desire a Nigerian man.
It's something about it, and I think also too, because I think the beautiful thing about your family specifically is that you guys came to this country, but you didn't lose your ethnic identity. And that happens a lot because you get scared of persecution, bigotry. So you tend to put who you are and what you grew up with and what built you as a human being to the back because you're afraid of that shit. But then, like I said, your mom has conversations with Jesus like this. Jesus. So she ain't scared of shit. She's not scared of nothing.
You gotta meet my daddy. You think my mama's that way. You need to meet my daddy.
I'm trying to have your dad cradle me and rock me to sleep.
Don't worry, when I get married, you guys will meet them all.
I'll be so happy. I'm telling you, man, like that's the great thing too. And you find out when you get older how all that stuff bleeds into your life.
Yeah.
How important it is to you.
Very important.
You never know that. When I was a kid, I would have never thought how important it was for me to relate to me being Korean.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how often I didn't realize how my behaviors are so Korean. I'm super proud to be Korean. I make a lot of jokes about Korean people because that's my culture, but I'm proud to be Korean as fuck.
Me too. Well, I'm not Korean, but
yeah.
I'm very proud to be Nigerian. But when I was younger, I was ashamed.
Yeah.
Because people would call you African booty scratcher and they'll be like, go back to Africa. And do you guys talk like this?
Oh, man.
All the time. And I was just like, no, we don't do that. I don't want to be African. I remember I came home. I told my mom, I was like, I don't want to be African anymore.
She beat your ass.
No, she didn't. She said, go tell your dad what you just said. My dad said, why would you even say that? And I was like, because they said that. He was like, they're just mad because they're not as smart as you. And I was like, wow, okay.
Damn, your parents, I feel like your parents were so like emotionally supportive. Like,
they were.
They built you up strong because you do have a very, very strong presence. Like when you walk in a room, people notice you. So I call you African Sunshine. Like you walk in and there's always, I know that you definitely go through your own things and I know that you have your own personal issues, but you are somebody who doesn't put that onto others, right? So you learn how to deal with your problems, and when you're around people, you're very like socially aware, which a lot of people cannot do. Yeah, guys, girls, it doesn't fucking matter. If they have a bad day, the whole world is gonna feel it that day.
You're gonna feel my I'm like,
But for
I
you,
can't do that.
Because I know that you went through a lot of things, especially moving to LA.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known unless like Z mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known this stuff.
Yeah, because you remember there was a time when I was living with Z for like, what, 2
Yeah,
or 3
you were
months?
going through some rough time. I didn't even know that shit.
Yeah, I was homeless, man.
That's so fucking wild to me. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And like Z kind of helped you out a lot and stuff. So that's probably where your guys' bond came through.
Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Your mom must love Z.
Man, my mom, she's like, oh, God will bless Z. We pray for a wife for him.
And he found himself a light-skinned black girl.
Yes, he showed it. My mom thought she was Puerto Rican, but I was like, nah, she black.
She looks Puerto Rican,
She
Colombian.
does, yeah, but she loves Z. Like, that's her son.
That's amazing.
She's like, that's my son. She's always asking about him. Have you spoken to Z? Next something because my mom's. I think she's coming next month. She's like, yes, I need to cook for him. He needs to eat jollof rice. He needs to I was like, what about me? I was like, I see you all the time. I don't see him all the time. I was like, ma'am, you do not see me all the time. What the heck?
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Parents sometimes treat your friends better than they treat you.
They sure do. And they will embarrass you. They will embarrass you. That's when they want to bring out all the stories about how you did this and that. I'm like, why are you telling them that? Why are you telling them that?
Yo, there's a few people on this earth where when I curse and I act up, just because it's how I grew up, it's hard for me to change it. I always think in the back of my mind, I'm not even fucking shitting you. I'm like, damn, Amen's mom's not seeing this shit. I'm like, oh shit. I feel like the weight of her judgment on my back. I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like she watching me and shit. I'm like,
Bruh.
I don't curse all the time. It's for giggles. It's for giggles.
What?
Yeah,
My mom's gonna be, David thinks that highly of me.
But who doesn't? Who doesn't? Your mom has the same type of like warmth and confidence. You definitely got that from your mom. You're definitely an extension of your mom. Because your mom, when she was at the Refresh event, she commanded a presence that I've never felt before. I saw a golden line behind her. I was like, the fuck is that?
That's my mama, G.
That shit was great. Are you still doing the whole Refresh event?
Yeah, I've taken a break just because I, like you said, that there's a lot of stuff that I was going through, just like finding my own beauty. And so I found myself like refreshing other people, but I was feeling depleted. And so I literally just got this tattoo that says beautiful.
God damn, you got a tattoo too? Yo, my best friend just got a tattoo. That son of a bitch. We supposed to get one together, you dumbass.
This is my second one though.
Oh, really?
I have another one.
Where you got the other one at? Okay.
No, it's okay. It's on my hip.
Oh, okay.
So I got it when I was 19. No, it's not on it. It's on my hip right here.
No, that's your ass.
It's not. Whatever.
Hey, man, that's your side ass. That's called side ass.
No, that's called hip.
No, it's called side ass.
The doctor will say that's the hip.
Let me tell you something. Just because you say it is, God knows. God knows what side ass is.
Whatever. It's my hip. But yeah, so I'm going on this self-love journey because, and you could relate, like being a plus size person your whole entire life.
Yeah.
People always tell you that you're beneath.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people have told me, well, maybe you would have somebody if you were smaller. And so, like,
have I not heard that?
Yeah. And so, like, people have been saying, even now that I'm getting older, they're like, oh, and I'm, thank God I've lost like 50 pounds. That's fine. But I've done it for myself.
Yeah.
Right. But even then, like in the beginning when I started, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to lose weight so I can get a husband. And I'm like, nah, that should not be your goal.
Yeah. Because
you're going to be chasing a satisfaction that is rooted in sorrow or rooted in judgment. And so, I went 29 years not thinking that I was beautiful.
Wow.
And so, I've been on this journey now, just trying to tell myself, okay, you are beautiful. Like you are an image, you're made in God's image. So you're beautiful. And so I'm trying to see myself the way that God sees me. Yeah. And so that's when I got this. I actually got this. It's peeling. So cause it's
that's
healing.
Recent.
Yeah. I got it last week, Saturday.
I'm telling you, man, like I definitely understand what it feels like because I was a big guy for a majority of my life. Mm-hmm. I actually had the opposite of you. Like I thought I was beautiful constantly. And
and that's one thing I've always wanted to tell you that, like, David, for every time I was around you, I was like, man, I need to get confidence like Dave, yo. Like, for real, I remember one time, this was like, I think maybe like 2014 or 15. no, I didn't meet you at 14. 2015. We were talking, I think we were all like Z's house, or we all went out to eat in K-Town.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey man, why you ain't got no man?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And so I said, I don't know, maybe I'm not pretty enough. And you looked at me and you said, the fuck?
I'm telling you.
What? You are pretty, like, what? Wait, why are you saying that? And so that was the first time I ever met correction. And so I was like, I didn't know what to say. And you're like, no, you are a bomb ass woman, this and that. And I was just like, wow. I was like, God, I need that kind of, confidence from Dave.
Because I always tell people this, man, like, the whole world, I feel like this whole world is designed to break you down. I always tell kids this. So if everybody else's objective is to tell you something that you're not, the first source of negativity can't be from you. You have to be the first person every day to tell yourself that you're something special, because everybody else is going to do that.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
So if you're the first person to tell yourself that you're not beautiful, then what's going to happen? You're already at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And I found it so difficult when people would do that to themselves. It's like, how can you expect other people to love you when you don't love yourself?
Exactly.
That is so fucking hard.
Yeah. And one of my good friends just posed that to me like a couple weeks ago. And he was like talking to me and he was like, what's going on? Because I feel like something's going on with you. You've been real quiet. And so I told him, and he was like, and we were talking about Refresh, because he was like, oh, what's the next Refresh event? I want to help, like, whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm putting a hold on it because I feel depleted. And then I'm going through a lot of stuff with like my self-image and stuff. And he was like, you won't be able to receive love if you can't even love yourself.
Yeah.
And that blew me away, because I'm like, dang, I'm like praying like, God, I can't wait for me to get a man. And, And then God's just like, bruh, you can't even love yourself. How will you pray for this not perfect love, but you pray for this love that stretches you, that brings fullness to you, that you can see like somebody else's flaws and still love them and all this other stuff. But you can't even see your own flaws and love yourself.
Yeah.
You can't even see, and so that's what I've been on, recently. But I'm going to bring Refresh back in the summer.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just working
work on yourself.
Yeah.
It's super important. Like the same way I can give like, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like permission to tell myself that I'm beautiful. If somebody's going to call me ugly, I'm going to call myself ugly first. You don't get to do it first. You know what I mean? So like for me too, like I had the hardest time losing weight because I thought I was fit. Like, really? I thought I was fit. I said athlete. I said, I can't believe I'm not in the NBA right now. I take LeBron. I snap those ankles.
You thought highly of yourself.
I thought too highly of myself. But then my heart murmur and my kneecap said otherwise.
Yeah, and that back pain
and
started getting you.
Yep. And I was like, they don't make triple XLs like they used to, huh? Why is it so tight?
Then you start saying how like well, I don't know. Maybe I still feel like they be making sizing smaller nowadays.
I blame my dryer real quick. I was like, this shit too hot.
I put it on too long.
Yeah. It's like, God damn, I got this shit I set on Satan. This shit's fucking.
It shrunk my clothes.
I kept making excuses, and then finally, like, it hit. Dude, you know what? I talk about the story too much, but it's just, so I'll tell you this. But I found out that I was fat just because of what Mariel said to me, and she was almost in shock about how judgmental I was of other fat people. Because like we'd be sitting, I shit you not, we were sitting eating, and there was this couple of fat people that were eating. I was looked at them, I was like, look at those fat people just munching away. And she looked at me, she goes, "You're fat." I was like, "What do you mean I'm fat?" I was like, "They fat." "Yeah, I'm not fat." She goes, "You're fatter than them." I was like,
"What?"
I was like, "You on your period or something? What's going on? Like, why are you tagging me? Like, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Am I a fat person?" And all this shit started clicking, dude. I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking fat.
Yeah.
Like, I knew I was fat, but I didn't think I was fat.
Yeah.
Like, because I just always thought highly of myself.
Yeah.
But then I started realizing, I have sleep apnea. My skin's terrible. My knees hurt. My back hurts. And I'm like, now it's not a matter of opinion. It's just fact. Like, you are super out of shape, and you got to get this shit together.
Exactly. And so it's just, for me, that's another thing too, is because like I have symptoms of sleep apnea too. And that was where I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I think my heaviest weight was 313.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I said that on.
Yeah, I'm proud of you right there. You did say,
Yeah.
That's a very big thing right there.
Yeah.
Because I would ask a lot of women like because they would talk to me about wanting to lose weight. I'm like, well, what do you weigh right now? I can't tell you. Then I can't help
right
you.
now I'm 257.
That's amazing.
So I mean, I still want to lose like another like 75.
That's very doable. But
it took me a while. It took me some people. I have a cousin who lost like 60 pounds in the last like 7 months.
Damn, dude, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
But for she ain't on crack. I love you because you ain't on crack. No, but like for me, I've done it gradually because whenever I lose weight fast, I gain it back fast.
Yeah.
And so this journey for me started like 2016.
That's perfect.
And so, I mean, it's been up and down, but people always think like the weight loss journey, like you just have to be always constantly dropping weight. It's like, no, you have to learn this is a lifestyle.
Yeah, it took me a year to lose 60 pounds. So it was a long time. So like people, they thought it was fast because they haven't seen me in a minute because I was working on it, but it was like a year-ish. It took some time.
Yeah.
And I had to learn about healthy food options. Why is it healthy? Why do I crave? And what, I guess like the big thing too, I started feeling weak because I'm like, why does this food have so much control over me?
Yeah. Like and emotional eating.
Yeah. Like how weak am I as a human being that if I don't eat this, I throw a tantrum. You know what I mean? Like I'm in a bad mood. And what I found out is I'm actually addicted to this stuff.
Yeah.
I am highly addicted to high fat, high carb foods. And if I don't get it, I have the same symptoms as a fucking crackhead.
Yeah. I mean, they said sugar is just as addictive as cocaine.
I heard it's more. I heard it's worse. And so I'm talking about some shit like my roommate came down once, right? And this is during the time I was like really trying to like eat healthier food. And this is I actually failed this time, but I was trying to get like healthy and eat some healthier food. And I'm talking, I was snap at him real quick. Like he came down, he goes, "Hey man, you want to go for a walk?" I was like, "I ain't trying to walk with your ugly ass. Get your ass back upstairs."
Dang!
And then he's like, "The fuck, man? I'm just trying to spend time with you." And he just storms upstairs. And I'm like, oh shit.
He was trying to be sentimental. You over here throwing back.
It's like, get the fuck away from me, ugly. He's
Dang, you rude.
I know, but I was on some shit. I was like scratching myself in a corner.
Like a crackhead.
Like, what's wrong with David?
I just need a hit.
I know. Just give me that Hot Pocket real quick. I just need it, man.
Just some sausage, cheese, carbs.
Yo, we've been talking for an hour and a half. We've been doing it. Hey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Usually this only goes about an hour, but I'm telling you, I could talk to you forever.
I know. I could talk to you forever.
Dude, we haven't caught up in so long.
I know.
But that's what this podcast is about. Like I said, like it's just, I feel like I have the most interesting friends. And every time somebody's like, "Yo, you should bring this and that celebrity," I'm like, "Yo, celebrities aren't the only people with interesting stories and perspectives."
Exactly.
Everybody has a perspective.
And most of their stuff is rehearsed, so they're not going to tell you everything. They're not going to be raw.
Like, I'm going to bring a girl. Her name is Amen. I'm not fucking
Watch
lying.
out. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I keep it real.
Yeah, but where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Amen __ that. Amen to that.
Amen to that. And what about the whole radio thing that you're doing?
Yeah, so it's every Sunday. Third Sundays are dedicated strictly to me and my panel, but it's every third Sunday on 102.3 KJLH, which is Stevie Wonder's radio station out here in LA. So if you're listening at 8 p.m. on Sundays, you can chop it up. Call in. I love hearing these crazy comments.
I love it. Yo, so you could catch Genius Brain on Spotify, Castbox, Stitcher, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, make sure you give us a 5-star. And remember, if you're watching the videos, always leave comments. Interact. I want to hear you speak. Even if you say something stupid and I hate your guts and I block you, I still want to see it first. So I want to see all that beautiful stuff, man. Like, keep it interactive. Share these videos. Share the podcast. And I want to be with you on your everyday journey to life, because I'm telling you, this is going to be the best podcast.
The best podcast.
It's going to be the best podcast ever.
I wish I could do that. Best podcast ever.
It's going to be the best podcast ever.
The only thing I can do is only $6 more.
Only $6 more. If you don't like it, go to hell. Okay. But we'll see you guys next. Remember, every Thursdays and Sundays, you will see a Genius Brain podcast episode up. I love you, stupid sons of bitches. You're beautiful out there. Remember, we talked about a lot of self-love today. Fucking love yourself. And if you don't, I'm going to rob your ass. Love you, bitches. Peace.
Peace.